Hello guys and welcome back to another video. And in this video I'm going to be starting a new series called Guardian Showdown, where essentially I'll put two guardians up against each other in a few categories to show which guardian is better for you. If you have any suggestions for my next Guardian Showdown, drop them down below in the comments. So before we begin, make sure you like and subscribe. This Guardian Showdown is going to be Belle up against Frank, so let's just get straight into it. The first category is healing from the special abilities. When it comes to raw healing from the special abilities, Frank simply out-heals Belle. Belle heals 10% from her special, whereas Frank heals 15%. Even with talents that enhance her healing, Frank still comes out on top. For comparison, my Belle is at Astra level 1, level 70, rank 7, and her special heals 568 health, and this is with the talent Healer's Touch level 7 and Nature's Voice level 9. Frank, however, is only at rank 6, level 60, and he heals 656 health, which shows a sizable difference between the two. So the next category is other sources of support. Here Belle comes out on top, as Belle has a chance to grant armor to allies, which essentially is extra hit points, and in some cases armor is better than healing because you can still gain hit points from armor when you're at full health. Belle also heals allies at the start of each room or wave, which is especially useful in dungeons and in fights where there is many rooms or waves. When it comes to Frank, there is only really one other source of support, which comes from healing when being struck by a critical hit. The great thing about this is that it is 100% guaranteed. However, the one drawback about this is that you need to be in the dense foliage for it to work. Now let's move on to the utility. Belle has little utility. She has her defense buffs and you can swap her talents around to gain more armor, but Frank really comes out on top in this category. Firstly, he has his resistances and he also has a defense buff just like Belle, but it doesn't stop there. In his dense foliage, allies become resistant to damage from ranged and support guardians, which basically means they won't do as much damage. It also allows those enemies to be immune to those allies to be immune to root, which is great when you're against Judy's and other guardians which root. As well as being immune to root while being in the dense foliage, he can also inflict root two ways in fact. The first being from heavy attacks via a talent, and the second way from whenever an enemy enters the dense foliage for the first time via his signature ability. Even after all that, it doesn't stop there. Frank has a talent which allows for projectile attacks, so attacks from range and support guardians, mainly to have a chance to miss while standing in the dense foliage. Although Frank has a lot of utility, it all requires him to be, for him or his allies, it all requires him to be in the dense foliage. And this moves me on to my next category, skill. So when it comes to skill, Belle is a very easy guardian to use and there is not much to worry about when using her. You just need to pop her special and essentially leave her to be controlled by the AI. However, when it comes to Frank, things are very different. Firstly, Frank has a tendency to stay back, which is problematic because all his utility and healing revolves around his special ability and his dense foliage, so you're required to switch over to him and move him forwards. This playstyle isn't for everyone and takes some time to get used to in order to get the best out of Frank. Therefore, for many players, Belle is going to be the go-to option, but if you feel like you can learn how to manage Frank to the best that he can be, he's going to perform much better than Belle. It's just that it's much harder to get the best out of Frank. Some other things I want to mention before I end off the video is that Frank is a lot more tanky than Belle. So if you find yourself having to switch to Belle to help her out and get her out of trouble, Frank could be worth switching in for. And also, if you're already switching to Belle, Frank's playstyle will be easy for you to adapt to. But overall, both support guardians are very viable options and it just boils down to preference. Do you want to worry about your healer during the heat of the battle, or do you want to leave your healer and focus on using another guardian? The choice is yours. But thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.